Emotions ran high as a funeral for rapper Young Scooter was held today, just over a week after his tragic death on his 39th birthday. The funeral took place on a somber Monday morning at Atlanta's St. Philip AME Church, drawing close friends, family, fellow artists, and fans who had come to pay their respects. Church, known for its deep roots in the community and its history of hosting notable services, was filled with heartfelt emotion. Pictures and videos from the ceremony captured an outpouring of grief, love, and remembrance. Scooter's casket, sleek and polished, was carried out by his heartbroken loved ones, each step taken with tears, memories, and silent prayers. The pain etched on their faces told the story of a man gone too soon. Many attendees were visibly shaken, embracing one another for support, whispering memories through choked sobs, and mourning the untimely loss of a man whose presence had impacted so many. Scooter, whose real name was Kenneth Edward Rashad Bailey, was more than just a rapper to those who knew him personally. He was a father, a friend, and a symbol of resilience to many who admired his journey from hardship to hip-hop acclaim. Following the church service, his body was prepared for burial in his hometown of Walterboro, South Carolina, a place he always held close to his heart and where his story first began. Monday's service wasn't only about grief, it was also a celebration of life. In a touching tribute to his memory, white doves were released into the sky after the ceremony. The doves, soaring high above the crowd, symbolized peace, hope, and spiritual freedom. Some mourners raised their heads and followed the doves with their eyes, tears running down their cheeks, silently reflecting on Scooter's legacy, both in life and in music. The circumstances surrounding young Scooter's death have only added to the tragedy. It was the evening of March 28th, the day he turned 39, when chaos erupted. According to police reports, a 911 call was placed claiming that a naked woman was being attacked and dragged back into a residence, an alarming report that demanded an urgent response. The location given to dispatchers led officers straight to the house where Scooter was staying. What followed was a confusing and frantic scene. Atlanta law enforcement rushed to the address in response to what appeared to be a violent domestic situation. However, upon arrival, they found no signs of the alleged assault. The details didn't check out. As officers tried to make sense of the call, a panicked Scooter fled through the back of the property. In a tragic twist of fate, he attempted to escape over a fence, during which he suffered a catastrophic injury, a torn artery in his right thigh. Despite emergency medical efforts, the injury proved fatal. In a devastating confirmation, the Fulton County Medical Examiner released the autopsy report, classifying the death as an accident. The timing of the incident, falling on his birthday, only deepened the heartbreak. Friends and fans alike were left stunned, struggling to come to terms with the reality of such a senseless and avoidable loss. Further investigations led authorities to the source of the 911 call. It was traced to Demetria Spence, a woman with a public profile as a contestant on the Zeus Network reality series Baddies. Her call, deemed false and misleading, was considered a deliberate act of swatting, a dangerous prank that involves falsely reporting a critical incident to provoke a heavily armed police response. Swatting has long been condemned for its life-threatening implications, and in this case it ended in an irreversible tragedy. Spence was arrested and charged with making a bogus emergency call. Though she was later released on a $7,500 bond, the damage caused by her actions is immeasurable. The hip-hop community, already weary from losing numerous artists to violence, substance abuse, and now misinformation, found itself mourning yet another life senselessly lost. Calls for stricter penalties against swatting surged online, as many demanded justice for the role the call played in Scooter's death. Young Scooter was a prominent figure in the Atlanta rap scene, known for his gritty lyrics and raw depictions of street life. Rising to prominence in the early 2010s, he collaborated with notable artists like Future, Gucci Mane, Waka Flocka Flame, and Chief Keef, building a reputation as an authentic voice in trap music. His mixtapes gained considerable traction, especially projects like Street Lottery and From the Cell Block to Your Block, and he became known for his ability to tell stories that resonated with real experiences from urban America. Scooter's music wasn't just entertainment, it was a reflection of his life, struggles, and victories. Fans admired his unfiltered honesty and how he wore his hardships on his sleeve. Tracks like Columbia, Jug King, and Drugs showcased his lyrical prowess and earned him respect within the hip-hop community. He often rapped about loyalty, survival, and grinding for success, themes that resonated with many who felt overlooked or underestimated by society. But behind the music was a man with a past marked by adversity. Born in South Carolina but raised in the Kirkwood neighborhood of East Atlanta, Scooter navigated a world filled with obstacles, from poverty to incarceration. He used those experiences as fuel for his music, transforming pain into purpose. He spoke often about redemption, loyalty, and ambition, themes that hit home for listeners who shared similar journeys. At his funeral, several of his closest friends and collaborators shared personal stories of their time with him. They spoke of his loyalty, his sense of humor, and his determination to make a better life for himself and those he loved. Some recalled how he used his platform to mentor young rappers, urging them to stay focused and avoid the traps of street life. His presence in the studio was described as focused and humble, and he was known to generously share advice and even studio time with upcoming artists. The ceremony included tributes not only from family but also from fellow musicians who performed or spoke in his honor. There were poems read, photos displayed, and moments of silence held in respect. A large screen in the church showed footage from his concerts, studio sessions, and moments of joy with his children, moments that revealed a softer side to the rapper often hidden behind a tough exterior. His children, wearing all black, were held by family members, looking out at a crowd of people who had loved their father deeply. In the days following his passing, tributes poured in on social media from fans and fellow artists alike. Hashtags like #LongLiveScooter and #RIPYoungScooter trended across platforms. Many expressed their disbelief and anger over the circumstances of his death. Others reflected on the fragility of life and the dangers posed by the misuse of emergency services. Some fans shared old footage of concerts, selfies they had taken with him, or quotes from his lyrics that had inspired them. It became a digital vigil that only further cemented his legacy. Even as the music fades and the crowd disperses, the impact of young Scooter's life continues to resonate. His story is now woven into the larger narrative of artists lost too soon, reminders of how fame does not shield one from tragedy, and how the consequences of recklessness can be permanent. Behind the scenes, Scooter was reportedly working on a new project, planning to reintroduce himself with a more reflective tone, tackling deeper issues and showcasing his growth as an artist and man. His legacy, however, remains strong. In every beat, in every lyric, in every soul he touched with his art, young Scooter lives on. His fans will continue to stream his music, to speak his name, and to find comfort in the truths he rapped about. Memorial murals began appearing in neighborhoods across Atlanta, and tribute concerts have been rumored among local promoters. There's also talk of a posthumous release being organized by his label. As the white doves disappeared into the clouds, they carried with them the spirit of a man who, despite his flaws and challenges, gave the world his truth. And now, the streets that once raised him and the fans that once cheered him on will forever echo his name. From trap houses to radio waves, from pain to poetry, young Scooter's journey reminds us all that even in a world riddled with chaos, there are voices that rise to tell their story. Rest in peace, young Scooter. You will never be forgotten.